In 1856, in a small monastery of the Austrian Empire, a monk began to plant pea seeds. His name was Gregor Mendel. Mendel paid attention to the traits of pea plants, their height, seed color, and seed shape. For many years, he crossbred tens of thousands of plants and recorded each result with care. When he crossed a tall parent with a short parent, the offspring were all tall. But when he crossed those tall offspring among themselves, short plants appeared again in the next generation. The ratio was about 3 to 1. From this observation, Mendel reasoned that a trait was inherited from parent to offspring through 2 elements. One was a dominant element that appeared on the surface. The other was a recessive element that was hidden. In 1865, he presented his discovery to a local scientific society, but its importance was hardly understood by the scientists of the time. His paper lay buried in dust for decades. At the start of the 20th century, 3 independent researchers rediscovered Mendel's laws. His experiments finally came to be recognized as the starting point of modern genetics. In a quiet monastery, a single monk who kept facing his pea plants was the first to bring the light of science to the way life is inherited. Every year, about 8 million tons of plastic flow into the world's oceans. That equals 1 truckload every minute. In the Pacific Ocean, a huge area of garbage twice the size of Texas is floating, called the Great Pacific Garbage Patch. Debris carried by the currents has gathered there over many years. Larger pieces of plastic, broken down by waves and ultraviolet light, slowly becomes microplastic. These tiny particles enter the food chain, from plankton to fish, and eventually onto our dinner tables. The impact on marine life is severe. Whales and seabirds have mistaken plastic bags for food and have died after swallowing them. Coral reefs, too, face the double threat of chemical pollution and warming waters. Governments around the world have introduced various policies, such as charging for plastic bags and banning certain plastics. Companies, on the other hand, have invested in biodegradable materials and recycling technology. In the end, the problem will be solved by the choices each of us makes. Reduce, reuse, recycle. The accumulation of small choices in daily life will change the future of the ocean. In 1960, a 26-year-old English woman named Jane Goodall walked alone into the forest of Tanzania in East Africa. Her aim was to observe wild chimpanzees in their own natural environment. In those days, it was almost unprecedented for a woman to enter the interior of Africa by herself. She did not even have a university degree, but the paleontologist Louis Leakey believed in her passion and patience and supported her. In the forest of Gombe, she sat for months without showing herself, deep among the trees. After a while, the chimpanzees stopped fearing her and began to show her glimpses of their daily lives. Her greatest discovery was the observation that chimpanzees made twigs into tools for catching termites. To the world of science, which had until then believed that only humans used tools, this came as a great shock. Goodall also showed that chimpanzees had emotions similar to those of humans: family bonds, sadness, and conflict. Her observations redrew from the very ground the line between humanity and other animals. In her later years, Goodall devoted herself to the conservation of wildlife. The youth program she founded, called Roots and Shoots, has become a starting point for young people in over 60 countries to take on environmental issues in their own neighborhoods. Hope lies in action. Her words remain, even now, a steady encouragement for the many young people who carry concern for the future. Pablo Picasso was born in 1881 in Malaga, Spain. He is one of the most influential painters of the 20th century, leaving behind tens of thousands of works in his lifetime, including sculpture, prints, and ceramics. In his 20s, Picasso moved to Paris and for a time produced dark-toned paintings of what is called his blue period. After his rose period, his style would change dramatically again and again. In 1907, Picasso unveiled Les Demoiselles d'Avignon. The work shocked the art world with its bold method of breaking the human figure into geometric shapes. It became the starting point of a new art movement that would later be called Cubism. Cubism overturned from its very ground the long Western tradition of painting an object from a single perspective. Picasso and Braque drew shapes seen from many angles at once on a single canvas. In 1937, In the middle of the Spanish Civil War, the Nazi German Air Force bombed the small town of Guernica. Angered by the suffering, Picasso completed the enormous painting Guernica in only a few weeks. It became a symbol that called the cruelty of war to the attention of the world. Picasso never settled into a single style. It took me a long time to learn to paint like a child, he said in his later years. Perhaps no one expanded the horizon of contemporary art as widely as he did. In the mid-1990s, the internet began to enter ordinary homes. In the 30 years since then, our lives, our work, and the way we connect with one another have all been transformed from the ground up. The communication that used to be done by letter or by telephone is now carried out instantly through messaging apps and social media. Even with a friend on the other side of the earth, we can now speak face to face in real time. The shape of work has also changed. Through the pandemic, remote work spread rapidly, leaving the company office behind. More people now work from home or from a cafe, connected to the world. But new problems have also been created. The question of privacy, the threats to security, the spread of fake news and misinformation. Who guarantees the quality of the information we receive? And how social media algorithms are designed to attract our attention. Many of us have noticed that at one moment or another that they have been staring at their smartphone for hours. Addiction and digital dependency have become serious problems in modern life. The internet itself is only a useful tool. What we use it for and how we keep our distance from it depends on the judgment of each one of us. How to live as a human being inside the digital age, that is the challenge of the generations to come.
Ancient Rome is said to have been founded in 73 BC. For its first few centuries, it was a kingdom, and then a republic centered on a small city on the Mediterranean. By the 2nd century BC, Rome had united the Italian peninsula, and after a long war with Carthage, taken control of the Mediterranean. The Senate and the consuls of the Republic governed this vast territory. In the 1st century BC, Julius Caesar appeared.
He conquered Gaul and brought to Rome vast wealth and territory. Eventually he became dictator for life. But in 44 BC, he was assassinated by senators. His successor Octavian, in 27 BC, was given the title Augustus by the Senate and became the first emperor.
Through this, Rome was transformed from a republic into an empire.
The 2 centuries that followed are called the Pax Romana, a period of prosperity. The whole shore of the Mediterranean fell under Roman rule and rose roads were built with aqueducts, the Colosseum, and baths constructed across the lands.
But from the 3rd century onward, the Roman Empire would suffer from internal disorder and invasions by outside forces. In 3095,
The empire split into east and west,
and in 476,
the Western Empire
was brought down by Germanic peoples.
The Western Roman Empire, after centuries of expansion and decline, thus came to an end. The Western Empire fell, but Rome's legacy still lives strongly in the law, language, architecture, and political system of Europe today. The human brain weighs about 1.3 kilograms. Though only a tiny part of the body in weight, inside it lies a network of 86 billion neurons. Each neuron is linked with thousands of others through synapses. In the whole brain, around 100 trillion synapses form a net-like network. Memory, perception, emotion, judgment. Everything we call self arises from this complex neural activity. How consciousness arises from the matter of the brain. This is one of the greatest mysteries of science. Since the late 20th century, imaging technology such as functional MRI has allowed researchers to directly observe the brain in action. Brain becomes active when we see something, when we remember something. These can now be tracked in real time. One recent discovery is the plasticity of the brain. Once it had been believed that the adult brain no longer changed, but it is now known that the connections between neurons continue to change throughout life through new experience and learning. Alzheimer's disease, Parkinson's disease, and stroke. Treatments for those who suffer from brain diseases or brain injuries are still being studied around the world to draw out to its fullest the power of the brain's recovery. Brain research leads us toward the deepest question we may ever ask. What is a human being?
At the end of the 18th century, France was suffering from a serious financial crisis and famine. Heavy taxes weighed on peasants and the urban poor, while the gap between ordinary people and the royal court of Louis XV's and Marie Antoinette at Versailles was simply too great. The thought of the Enlightenment philosophers Voltaire and Rousseau had already spread among the educated class. liberty, equality, and the dignity of the human person. These ideals would become the trigger of the revolution on July 14, 1789. The citizens of Paris stormed the Bastille prison. This became the starting point of the French Revolution. In August of the same year, the National Assembly adopted the Declaration of the Rights of Man and declared that all people held equal rights. In 1793, Louis Exvies was executed by the guillotine. France was transformed from a monarchy into a republic. But in the middle of the revolution, the Jacobins under Robespierre carried out the reign of terror, and tens of thousands were executed as enemies. In 1799, the young soldier Napoleon Bonaparte took power in a coup, and the chaos of the revolution came to an end. He would become emperor in 1804, but the reform that the revolution brought, equality before the law, freedom of religion, the protection of private property, spread throughout Europe. Liberty, equality, fraternity, the three ideals of the French Revolution still flow at the foundation of every democratic society in the world today.
In 1929, the American astronomer Edwin Hubble discovered that the more distant a galaxy was, the faster it was moving away from us. This showed that the entire universe was expanding. If the universe is expanding now, then in the past everything must have been small, hot, and gathered into a single point. From this idea, the theory of the Big Bang was born. Today, the universe is believed to have begun about 13.8 billion years ago. In the Big Bang, in its first few minutes, hydrogen and helium were created, and over hundreds of millions of years, the first stars ignited. In 1965, the American researchers Penzias and Wilson detected weak microwave radiation coming evenly from every direction of the sky. This is called the cosmic microwave background, and it is regarded as the afterglow of the Big Bang. It became decisive evidence for the Big Bang theory. Our Milky Way galaxy is said to hold between 200 and 400 billion stars. To be roughly the same number of galaxies, but 95% of the universe still remains a mystery to us. Dark matter, which we cannot directly observe, and dark energy, which is accelerating the expansion of the universe. To To uncover the nature of these is the greatest challenge of modern physics. The James Webb Space Telescope, launched in 2021, is now bringing to us the light of the earliest galaxies of the universe. Light born 13.8 billion years ago is finally reaching the Earth. In the latter half of the 18th century, an event began in Britain that would transform society and the economy from its foundation. It was the dawn of the Industrial Revolution. The steam engine, improved by James Watt, transformed the very concept of power. Manufacturing, which had until then depended on rivers or on horses, could now run 24 hours a day on the power of coal and machines. In Manchester and Liverpool, huge cotton textile factories were built, one after another. People who had until then worked the land in the countryside moved into the urban centers in search of work. Urbanization advanced rapidly during this time, but the labor conditions in the factories was terrible. Work days of more than 12 hours, low wages, and children forced to work in the mines and the factories. Child labor was the dark side of the society of that age. After the middle of the 19th century, workers began to organize unions and to strike for better treatment. Through the efforts of social reformers, laws limiting child labor were passed one after another. The Industrial Revolution greatly raised living standards and the average lifespan of humanity. At the same time, it brought deep gaps between rich and poor, and serious environmental pollution. Our society today still lies on the path of the transformation that the revolution began.